Hello, viewers. I read to you today from the book A Judge Nonpareil, a BK Mukherjea Reader. It's a second edition of the book. Publishers are Law and Justice. Publisher for this particular edition is Pradeep Arora. I'll start from page 9, an introduction by Justice Chitatosh Mukherjea. It reads, on 15th August 1891, Bijan Kumar Mukherjea was born at Navadvip, which was not only the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya, but was considered a center of learning, particularly of Nyaya philosophy. The ancestors of Justice Bijan Kumar Mukherjea were renowned Sanskrit scholars. Therefore, it was not surprising that Bijan Kumar was endowed with intellectual qualities of acute perception, logical thinking, and capacity of making correct inferences. He studied in Mawson College, Hooghly, and had a brilliant academic career. He obtained a master's in law from the University of Calcutta, which in those days was considered one of the toughest courses. The Calcutta University conferred the degree of Doctor of Laws for his research thesis. Bijan Kumar began to practice law as a vakil in the Calcutta High Court from the year 1914 and soon made his mark and became one of the busiest lawyers on the appellate side. My revered grandfather, Sir Asutosh, had inducted him as a lecturer in the newly established Calcutta University College of Law in the year 1936. He was elevated to the bench of the Calcutta High Court. Chief Justice P.B. Chakraborty, in his full court reference after the death of Bijan Kumar Mukherjea, while paying high tributes, had mentioned that in those days, both Justice Rupendra Kumar Mittar, who was slightly senior, and Justice Bijan Kumar Mukherjea practically dominated the appellate side of the High Court. Lawyers who had appeared before Justice Bijan Kumar Mukherjea said that he was looked upon with great respect and even awe for his erudition and clear-headed decision, but at the same time he was affectionate, particularly towards young lawyers, and encouraged them. Justice Bijan Kumar Mukherjea had delivered a number of remarkable judgments in different branches of law. I then moved to page Roman 10, where I continue to read Justice Chitatosh Mukherjea's introduction. He says, if I am not sounding clannish, it is interesting to note that almost always there have been one or more Mukherjeas on the bench of Calcutta High Court. Unukul Chundar Mukherjea was the first, being appointed in December 1870, but passed away the following year. My grandfather, Sir Asutosh Mukherjea, was appointed a judge in 1904. Amongst all the Mukherjeas who followed Sir Asutosh, Justice BK Mukherjea was undoubtedly the greatest. After that, I moved to page 4. There's an interesting passage there, and I read, one day it so happened that Justice Lord Williams, an otherwise pleasant and amiable judge, grossly insulted Bijan Mukherjea. The bar was greatly agitated, and rightly so, and the issue was taken up with the judge in his chamber during the lunch interval. He eventually agreed to apologize. The news spread rapidly, and when the judge reassembled, the courtroom and the corridors got overcrowded. Lord Williams offered ample apologies, and Mukherjea gracefully bowed, and the controversy got over. It also demonstrates the esteem everyone had for Dr. B.K. Mukherjea. Moving on to the next page, number 5. It is also well known that Justice Mukherjea established a glorious tradition of judicial independence by refusing Pandit Nehru's offer of Chief Justiceship of India before his time, superseding his brother judges. On the demise of the first Chief Justice of India, Justice H.J. Kania, in November 1951, there was a proposal from the government to appoint B.K. Mukherjea as the next Chief Justice, overlooking the claims of Justices Patanjali Sastry and M.C. Mahajan, on the ground also that he would have a longer tenure. While both Sastry and Mahajan were not averse to it, and indeed considered it appropriate that a person of his caliber should be the Chief Justice, Mukherjea was not agreeable and threatened to resign if he were appointed as the Chief Justice of India, superseding Sastry and Mahajan. Speaking of Justice Mukherjee, Setalwad said, Bijan Kumar Mukherjee had distinguished himself on the appellate side bar in Calcutta and had been a judge of the Calcutta High Court. He had a deep insight, an astute mind, and a vision and a keen perception of legal principles. It was a pleasure to argue a matter before him, whatever the subject, as the argument soon became a discussion about the principles underlying the law. Like Patanjali Sastri, Fazl Ali, and Mahajan, Mukherjee had been a judge of the federal court before joining the Supreme Court. He had an uncanny grasp of principles and an analytical mind which traced all issues arising in a case to underlying legal principles. He had earned a great reputation as a judge of Calcutta High Court before his appointment to the federal court. Accustomed to deal with problems of Hindu law and land tenures in Bengal, he was more than equal to unraveling the constitutional problems which faced the Supreme Court, particularly in its early days. His close knowledge of Hindu law is evident from his masterly treatment of the subject of Hindu religious endowments in the Tagore Law lectures delivered by him. His grasp of constitutional principles was no less comprehensive. Indeed, many of the judgments delivered by him on the interpretation of the Constitution have broken fresh ground and still hold the field. After this, I move to the next page, number 7. Justice Mukherjee had an impersonal, objective, and judicial approach to the problems he dealt with, as is evident in all pronouncements which bear the impress of a cultured mind, great scholarship, and exemplary enunciation. His pen could enunciate propositions which were profound in character and sometimes started a new chain of legal thought and principles. As Justice Gajendra Kadkar said, and as Justice S.R. Das puts in, Justice Mukherjee's judgments had a freshness and a compactness and were not mere collections of precedents. He delved deep into the foundation of the law and analyzed the underlying principles with clarity and precision. Not being cursed with a closed or case law bound mind, his large intellect moved freely among the principles and concepts, and never did he deal with any abstruse subject which he did not illuminate by the lights of his own reason. It may be said that with his vast learning and deep knowledge, he combined great rapidity of decision. His opinions are felicitous distillates of those faculties as Justice Frankfurter observed about the qualities and judgments of Justice Hope. They are models of clarity, logical structuring, lucidity, and elegance. He wrote his judgments spontaneously and effortlessly, and they are tinged with the traits of his own personality, sweetness, and light. He was thus a judicial master craftsman. Moving on to page 9. It is said that he illustrated the perfect judicial manner, not the staid manner of silent gravity, not even the distant manner of Olympian aloofness, but the free and easy manner born of true self assurance, which did not sacrifice dignity and was always coupled with constant receptivity and an abundance of vivaciousness. Truly was his count a court of justice, unto which all who were weary and heavy laden might repair for relief, and if there was any merit at all in the case, they were sure to get relief as it. Hence, he dispensed justice with some kind of an intuition and inborn precision. Justice delivered several important judgments both in the Calcutta High Court as also in the Supreme Court on various aspects of Hindu law of religious and charitable endowments. He was in fact the author of all outstanding judgments in that branch during his tenure. It may be said that he not only systematized the judicial precedents that were already there but also contributed in great measure to the future development of this branch of law. Next, I turn to page 12. It is indeed in the fitness of things that Justice R.F. Nariman spoke of Lord Mansfield, Chief Justice John Marshall, and Chief Justice BK Mukherjea as belonging to the same class, each a colossus that strode the scene in the 18th, 19th, and 20th centuries, respectively. and left his indelible mark on the judicial canvas. While both Mansfield and Marshall had long tenures of 32 years and 34 years as Chief Justices, Mukherjee's career on the Supreme Court bench was for only about 5 to 6 years. But he attained in a short span as much as the other two, and his contribution to law, particularly our constitutional law in its formative years, was sound, solid, and trailblazing. Navroz Sirvai recalls that his father, the great H.M. Sirvai's absolute favorite from the first batch of Supreme Court judges, was Justice Bijan Mukherjea, and he always spoke not only in glowing terms about Justice Mukherjea but also with the greatest fondness for him. Once Setalvad appeared before a bench presided over by Justice Mukherjea. The record indicated that the party for whom Setalvad was appearing was impecunious. When he rose to address the court, the judge humorously observed that it was a puzzle that the party had got the services of the Attorney General. Setalvad replied, "My lord, the Attorney General always does not appear for fees." And the quick and appreciative retort was, "We are glad to hear that." Bijan Babu was a person of great simplicity and a very friendly nature. He was a good conversationalist, and the conversation was interspersed with anecdotes and humor. He was a real scholar and was not happy with the location of the Supreme Court in Delhi, as it was not a traditional center for legal learning and did not then have a resident bar worth the name. He would talk about proper grounding in the law and moral values. One could always drop in at his place, 10 Elbert Road, North East Janwari Marg, and have a quiet chat with Justice Mukherjea. His simplicity was proverbial, as Lord Thomson noted in Ode on the Death of the Duke of Wellington, also known as the Iron Duke, and as the greatest only are, in his simplicity sublime. Justice Shishatosh Mukherjea recalls that as a judge of the Supreme Court, when Justice Bijan Mukherjea wanted to undertake a pilgrimage to Haridwar, Rishikesh, he wrote to Justice Ramaprasad Mukherjea to arrange some simple accommodation for him in Baba Kali Kamliwala Dharamshala. Justice Ramaprasad Mukherjea, son of Sir Asutosh Mukherjea and father of Justice Chitatosh Mukherjea, had succeeded Bijan Babu as government pleader on Bijan Mukherjea's elevation, and later he was himself appointed as a judge and acting Chief Justice of Calcutta High Court. While he was in Delhi, whenever he had some personal work to be attended to in Calcutta, Bijan Babu would write to Jadu, his erstwhile orderly in Calcutta, who had then become Justice Rama Prasad Mukherjee's orderly. The communication would be a simple postcard with his name Bijan inscribed at the end. Next, moving to page 14. Bijan Kumar Mukherjea did not have smooth sailing. The magic was not wrought overnight. Like many other lawyers, he did not find himself plunged in fog in a bleak and frozen night. But when it was given to him to gather the rosebuds, he lost a companion. Imagine then the day he returned from the Rashtrapati Bhavan after being sworn in as Chief Justice of India. His eyes must have wandered about in the vast and spacious house, and must have looked in vain for the sweet gentle face of Lavanya Lata, who had like a lily blossomed for a day and then slipped into the bosom of the lake, where she slept hid in death's dateless night. If she had been alive, her happiness would have been unadulterated, soft as the snow, vast as the ocean, her eyes bedimmed with tears of joy and gratitude. How glorious the husband had kept the word. As she lay dying, it is said, she asked for a boon. Perhaps having tasted and known what it was to be the bereft of the fond caress of a mother, and how much anguish and pain it meant to fall in the hands of a step-parent, she asked her loving husband not to remarry if Amia, the only child, lived. Bijan Babu gave the word and wasted his entire youth to keep it. At what suffering and sacrifice! To have spent the golden hours of youth when he had all the prizes that life could offer strewn about him, without the companionship of his lady, shows the inner mettle of the man. The religious devotion and piety in Mr. Justice Mukherjee's life can be traced to the land of his birth, the sacred place celebrated as the seat of Sanskrit, leaving the land where was born in the 15th century Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the last piece I have selected is on page 15. It reads, handsome and venerable looking, his manners charmed everybody. People of all shades of opinion, whether part of the legal profession or otherwise, had unstinted admiration and reverence for Mukherjee, Justice. He treated everyone with utmost courtesy and consideration. A gracious human being, he fully answered Cardinal Newman's definition of a gentleman. There was nothing mean or petty about him. He had too much good sense to be affronted by insults and was too well employed to remember injuries. He made light of favors when he did them and seemed to be receiving when he was conferring. No junior member of the bar even received from him anything but encouragement, and all who came in touch with him received from him only kindness. Thank you.